Hello, everyone. It's Josie with Viral Spiral, founded by Cobalt Media Marketing. We're here talking about social media marketing with Olivia from OG Media. So, Olivia, go ahead and tell me a little bit about OG Media and, how it started, maybe some background and college experience. Tell me all.
Yeah, so I'm Olivia. I started OG Media almost a year ago now, which is crazy. I graduated with a degree in communication, a bachelor's degree in communication, and my emphasis was actually in PR. I started off doing social media, digital and social media as my emphasis, and then I changed it to PR, and now I'm here doing social media. So, so I graduated a little over a year ago, and I ended up doing an internship for a chamber of commerce in Utah and just loved getting to know all the different businesses and just loved doing social media for them. And my boss at the time convinced me that it was a good idea to start my own business because they couldn't pay me for a full-time position at the time. But there were people who were members of the chamber that wanted social media help. And so I kind of just off the whim, I had no idea I was going to do it. And then the next day I was
Let's do it.
Into it, yeah.
Yep.
And so I started my business, and I ended up moving down here to Las Vegas, and now I'm establishing a clientele here, and it's been super great. I love social media, even when I hate it sometimes, which is sometimes, but
it's a love-hate relationship. I feel like even with business owners, it's one of the biggest selling points for business owners. It's okay, you are a business, you wear 1,000 different hats in your company. And so, you don't need to be doing social media. Let the experts handle it for you.
Yeah. I tell clients all the time, it's you need to focus on running your business, and I'm going to help focus on running your social media.
Yep.
Because it's too much to do both.
Yep.
For a lot of people. And
yeah. It's never ending.
It's too much for me to run my own business while I do social media. And so I'm the worst at posting on my own accounts because I'm trying to run my business and work for my clients, but then I lack on posting on my own accounts. So
that's something I've always kind of struggled with my company as well. And I think it's really common in the industry is most people struggle with their own content because they are focused on other accounts and they're managing and they're doing the day-to-day. So the last person you want to do it for is yourself.
Yeah.
Which sucks because it's dang, you could be losing opportunities without posting. And so I think that's why, you and I work really well is okay, we're going to get some content for ourselves. We're going to work together. And then, we both come home with some content.
Exactly. It really is amazing.
Yeah.
When I first met you, I was this is going to be really helpful, because it's nice to be able to help each other and also just talk social media with each other and talk business strategies. I've learned so much from you. And so it's really nice to have somebody that I'm oh my gosh, I have a question about this. I don't even know what this means. I'm I'm going to go ask Josie. So I do that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I love reaching out to people in the industry just because, there's always going to be something that you may not know or may not see. I used to speak to a girl who, when Threads came out, was you should really try Threads. And I was no, we're not ready for that. And then she was no, people are getting leads from Threads. And I'm what are you talking about? And she's no, people are literally posting, I need a social media manager. You can go and find them. Yeah. And I was girl, I went in there and I was oh my gosh, there is people everywhere. For every industry.
Yeah.
So those are the little things. If I hadn't spoken to that girl or had asked her, what she found to be something cool in the industry, I wouldn't have learned that.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I also underestimate what Threads can do.
Yeah,
I don't think about it all that much. And when it comes to different clients, I think that there's different platforms for every different industry. That that's why it's so important to know your audience and who you're posting for because you don't know if they're going to be on YouTube or if they're going to be on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever. Each of my clients has a different platform that works best for them. And so Threads is actually something that I should probably look more into because I haven't even thought about that.
It's really cool for service-based, not incredible for product-based. I would say TikTok and Instagram is definitely still the product bread and butter, but service-based, people are asking so many questions and it's set up a little bit different than how X or Twitter was set up. And so it's so much more user friendly and it's less political
and
more community driven. And so
Right on.
I mean, I like it now. But
Is it like, I feel like, I don't know why, but for some reason my brain is kind of going to like Reddit, where it's like,
I love Reddit.
Reddit will like throw out and be like, hey,
Yep.
I'm looking for this thing. Does anybody know of anybody? And everybody responds to
Yep.
it. And
I love Reddit. If I'm troubleshooting a problem, or if I'm like, okay, I want to figure out like what's going on with the GLP world or whatever, like, okay, some platforms that aren't going to ban this information, I go to Reddit, and Reddit has everything. And I just recently met somebody in the marketing field who literally told me that he creates business accounts in Reddit and then goes in and answers the people's questions regarding that industry. And because now Reddit is being shown up more on Google even more, that's how he uses it to boost people's SEO performance.
you know what? That's actually crazy. And that's probably a brilliant idea.
I know.
Like,
I was like,
I believe that. Like,
Yep.
every time I look something up, I go to Reddit now. And I didn't used to. And
it's between Reddit and TikTok.
yeah.
For me, I barely use Google or ChatGPT, but I barely use Google anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes social media so important too. Is like a lot of people in our generation specifically, like most people are looking for things on social media instead of on Google like we used to.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
No, it is, and it's definitely the direction the world's going. And I talk to people all the time. I mean, it's not even just about being on these platforms anymore. It's about how many times are you like posting? How many times are you touching on these people? How many times are you like reaching out, engaging, talking to people, like building that community? Because the bare minimum of what worked in 2021 and 2020 and even like 2016 is not working anymore.
Right.
It's like you have to kind of change. It's no longer, you can't just have graphics and a presence. You have to have strategic development.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I'm curious, like, what do you think? Because I have clients ask me all the time, like, should I be posting 2 times a day? Should I be posting, 3 times a week? Should I like give people, if I post on Mondays, I should give a break for Tuesday because people don't want to because in my brain, and I, as a social media manager, I think of this differently, but in my like Olivia brain, I would think that like if you post too much, the person's gonna get annoyed with you and unfollow you. But then Instagram doesn't work like that anymore specifically.
No.
And so like Instagram, I'm thinking specifically of Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram will, lose your post sometimes in the feed or whatever, and you just never even notice how many times somebody's posting. But I think that like
on the strategic side, from what I've noticed, I mean, no matter what you're posting, it lives in the explore page, the feed, for at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
At least, depending on the type of content. If it's like a single graphic, that's only being shown to your current following. So that's kind of, not going to be reaching people.
Yeah.
Reels, though, are showing in every phone, every device. There's even a tab specifically for it. They're putting carousels in it. So like reels and carousels are where people are, it's living longer.
Okay.
So for me, I mean, when it comes on the personal side, absolutely. Like my personal page, I post on it once a month. Yeah. And that is like I don't want to bug people.
Yeah.
Because every time for me, when I show up on my personal page, I'm like, hey girl,
Yeah. Look at this cool thing I just did.
Yeah, like I can't be hey girl every day,
Yeah.
then that is, people get annoyed. But on the business side, I mean, if you're talking numbers and you're talking like how many times people are going to see this content, and if it's living in the feed for this amount of time, and if this type of content is resonating with this type of person, posting as much as you can, like, or feel capable of doing and staying sane, like keeping your sanity. I'm like, how do I say that? I mean, I really would say it's like what you're comfortable with. If you hire a social media manager who has this specific package rate for you of posting a minimum times a month, then stick with that package.
Yeah.
If you're, if you're like, I just feel comfortable with posting 1 or 2 times a week and that's what works for you, like great, that works for you right now.
Yeah.
It's going to change. Excuse me. I'm burping now.
It's the energy drinks.
It is. It's a numbers game, and it's like if you only shoot 3 darts, you have a much lower lower chance of hitting, you know, the bullseye unless you hit it with 10 darts. Then you have a higher chance of hitting it.
Well, but then you also want to keep track of like this is where it gets confusing, right? Is like you also want to have content that's good quality. Mm-hmm. I mean, and by good quality, I don't necessarily mean that you have to have like a $10,000 camera to do your quality photos or videos or whatever. But like, you also don't want it to just be like a video that has no purpose.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to create content, like consistent content that has a purpose and that like leads you to your audience. And yeah, like it's kind of hard to manage that. And so you also have to like create content that's relevant. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is a really big, weird kind of hole in the industry where some people are saying certain pieces of marketing is strategy development. Other people are like, that's not strategy, that's tactics. Then other people are like, okay, well, how do you build a content calendar correctly with content funneling? Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, it is strategy development is kind of how you want to make it based off of goals. So let's say one person is like, I want to hit 10,000 views this month, you know, then yeah, post reels, and you could do like 3 reels in that week and you probably hit that in just that one. But, you know, if your goals are link clicks, if your goals are comments, then the type of content that you put there is going to be, you know, ultimately you're saying on how you're going to develop that. So it's not even just, how do I even explain this?
No, I'm like understanding what you're saying.
Okay, perfect. Because I spent a lot of time and a lot of money trying to develop like strategy. And it's like, okay, what is strategy? Some social media managers will say, you know, the time that you post is strategy. And that's not strategy. That's a tactic that you can use like to help push your strategy along, you know?
Yeah.
Or just, you know, like how many times you post isn't always a strategy too. That is just like content, like dumping sometimes. So I always say, I mean, if your goal is to reach as many people as you possibly can and put as many people through this funnel that you're developing, where it's like, you know, entertaining, fun, educational, and then salesy value content, like, you know, the reviews, then you have to post a ton more of content because then you have more chances of putting people through that process.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I think I'm understanding what you're saying because I think it all comes down to just like the goal for like what you're looking to do. Yeah. And when you were talking about like if you're looking for, you know, website clicks or if you're looking for, you know, a specific amount of views or whatever, that it all just depends. What I like what you do with your clients where like every post has some sort of goal to it. And like it doesn't have to be something super crazy, but like when you create something, you're thinking at least about, okay, what I want from this post is I want people to comment. So how am I going to get people to comment? What am I going to do? Like, I'm going to do a specific call to action at the end of the caption or at the end of the video that, you know, invites people to comment. And, you know, or if you invite, you know, if your goal is to get website clicks or whatever, you know, you have different, you know, you specifically create the content and you specifically post the content with that goal in mind. And it's more likely that's going to happen. I mean, that's how it is for life in general. You know, like if you're just aiming in whatever direction, you're not going to get anywhere unless you have a specific direction that you're trying to get to. So
if you don't plan at all, you're planning to fail. If you do plan, at least you're prepping and learning from whatever process. I think too, I mean, a lot of business owners, a misconception is that marketing's just going to take off in like a month. Yeah. And it can if you have no followers and you maybe haven't posted on your account in months and maybe you just literally like have never put any kind of force into your social media, then you'll see results in a couple posts. You know, those numbers will skyrocket because you started at nothing. Right. So I tell people all the time, like, you know, you can see results immediately, but you're not going to see the lead gen results immediately. You're not going to see the website clicks immediately. You're not going to see the comments and the following growing and your brand awareness total like grow. That's not going to happen in just that 1 month. It takes a long time. Yeah. I actually even told the landscaper client that I told him, when I first signed him, I said, look, like, you know, if you're expecting leads out of this, like, don't expect a lot. You know, it takes a while. In the first 3 months, you're not going to, like, don't expect anything. And then he got 2 leads in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, we as marketers don't always know what's going to happen, but we're planning for success. And if it does happen immediately, great. If it doesn't, like, that's just the long-term game that we're playing.
Yeah.
And it's always changing.
It's so true. Like it's always, it's a long-term game. It's so true. I have a client, and I've noticed in the past with myself, I'm kind of one of those people that, like, I have 8 bajillion ideas at all times. And so it's kind of hard because I'm like, oh, I should be doing this, or I should be doing this, or maybe I'll do this, and maybe I could go this route. And I'm saving content left and right all the time, and it's all different content. And I just get so excited about something. And so I just, like, shove it all into one place. And I'm like, okay, this is going to work. Everything's going to be great.
Yep.
And then, like...
then it comes down to actually recording it and creating it. And then it's like your mind blanks.
Yes, exactly. Well, and then even then, like, or I'll start posting and I'll just, like, post a ton in, like, a couple of weeks. And then, like, I'll lose the momentum that I have.
Yep.
And, like, I feel like sometimes I just have to, like, sit. I think that what's important in social media, what other people don't realize sometimes, is, like, you have to just sit down and, like, actually, like, think about it and be strategic with it.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you've said that, but
no,
yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of business owners, especially, I mean, even us marketers, because it's so common. If you need answers,
No,
it's okay.
no, sorry.
I know you're good. No, like, even us marketers, I mean, it is, when you understand your industry so well, sometimes it's hard to break away from what other people are doing. Like, there's not really an idea of organic, like, authentic, original content anymore. It's still, like, you know, hopping on trends because that's what's going to bring you the eyeballs, or, like, talking about different things. I mean, there's only so much to talk about in one industry. So it ends up kind of sounding a little bit mumbo jumbo, but it's how you can say it a little bit differently than the last person. It's going to resonate. Or, like, one video, like, okay, this didn't resonate as much as I wanted it to. How can I say it this way?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's so true. I remember, like, I don't even remember. Maybe it was at your marketing seminar or whatever it's called that you did once. But there was a conversation that I had with somebody a while back that was basically like, what is going to make you different than, like, you know, there's a million real estate agents out there. So what makes you the real estate agent that somebody should choose? And, like, that is what you have to, like, portray through your social media page.
Yep.
But, like, you're right. Sometimes you're going to go through and you're going to see different trends that are trending, and other people have done them before too. And those things, they work. So use them, right?
Yep.
But also, I feel like I get a little bit lost. Sometimes I think other people get lost. I hear a lot of people say, like, oh, and I just am going to, like, look it up on ChatGPT or whatever. And don't get me wrong. Like, I use ChatGPT for ideas and things like that.
Yeah.
But I also think that, like, I think that while we can reuse ideas, and we should reuse ideas because if they work, they work, I think that I'm trying in my own personal life and in my social media and with my clients and stuff to, like, also use my creative brain, because I feel like I'm, like, dimming down my creative brain because I have so many ideas, but I'm like, no, I shouldn't do that because nobody's ever done that. But you know, like, these trends come from somewhere, you know, like, somebody has thought of this idea, somebody has done something that they thought would just be funny, and then it worked out for them, and then they went viral, and everybody else is, like, following what they're doing. You know, so I feel like we also need to trust our brains, because, you know, we as human beings are built to have, like, fun ideas and think of cool things. And so I'm trying to, like, use AI for what, you know, it's helpful for, because it is really helpful for a lot of things. But also, like, not completely shut down my creative brain. You know?
No, exactly. I mean, a lot of business owners use ChatGPT and Grok and all of the other, like, platforms as a like crutch. You know, I met somebody a while back who literally was like, "Oh yeah, I'm working with a coach, and they're developing an entire marketing strategy for me." And I'm like, "Okay, great. Like, you know, when we start working together, I'd love to see it, and I'll work within what your coach is, you know, doing, or what your coach wants you to do." Sent me the information on what the coach wanted.
Yep, I am. Yep.
And I was like, this sounds a lot like ChatGPT. And, you know, whether that coach wrote it with ChatGPT or she just didn't have a coach and wrote it with ChatGPT, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that like none of this is developed for a human being.
Exactly.
It's developed with what AI thinks trends are doing. And a lot of the things with AI too, like script writing, that's great. I mean, if you were like, okay, how am I going to write this in a way that's going to, you know, touch on A, B, C? Great.
Yeah.
Use it as a guideline for how you're going to, you know, put this topic together. But if you're using it as a crutch and going line by line, script for script, and you're talking about unleashing the power of and discovering and say hello and goodbye to, you know, like everybody could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought a lot about this with like the music industry as well. Cause I mean, just a slight little like detour for a second.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've been writing music for a long time and you know, I've noticed people, it's really sad because there are so many artists out there now who are just like literally had AI write a song for them. And like sometimes I'll just be driving in the car and I'll hear a song that I literally can sit down and be like, no, this is not real. Like this person does not exist.
Yeah.
and
AI songs are crazy.
And they're crazy. And sometimes they're like, whoa, this is actually crazy that we could write a song this good through AI.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes I'll be like, okay, what's a better way that I can say this? Or I use ChatGPT all the time to like, can you find me a rhyme for this word? Because I want like something that will rhyme.
Yeah.
But like, it's just crazy because it takes away, you know, people who have zero musical talent whatsoever are like, oh, okay, I'm just going to release a song.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just crazy. Anyway,
well, writers are doing that too.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it in like in a lot of creative spaces, not just in marketing or even artists. Like you see it with writers, like the M dash. And because ChatGPT has completely traumatized me, every time I see the M dash, I'm like, they're using AI. But that is how writers write. They use the M dash, and you know the ChatGPT model was trained on how to write like a professional writer, and so it's kind of funny how the tables have turned. We're like able to catch things, and maybe they weren't AI to begin with.
It's hard to tell. Like it's hard to tell.
Yeah, no, I get worried about that. There's a lot of things that people think are shortcuts in the industry too. Like, I was speaking to an industry peer, and it's nothing against her, like at all. Love her to death, but she was talking about how there's a company in Florida who, and I probably can't post this because she knows, but or this part.
That's okay.
But there's a company in Florida who will do full service social media marketing for you for $150. Yeah, a month. And it's like 12 posts. They can manually post it or they can schedule it for you. Yeah, crazy, right? And if you're looking on the white label side, this is what drives me nuts. And let me backtrack this because this has nothing to do with her now at this point. When it comes to like full service marketing agencies, they are good at all of it. They're good. But then there's specific agencies like organic specific social media or paid ads specific social media. Those are the people who are great at the one lane they're in.
Yes.
And so these larger marketing agencies will white label either smaller creators or these companies in Florida, you know, for $150 per client or maybe like $400 per client. And it's not the quality of the content that the client needs because they're an expert in everything, or they're good at everything, but not an expert in one specific field.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, then at that point, you kind of lose the relationship between the client and the client and the service provider, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was talking to my boyfriend about this just yesterday. Like, I feel like for me, it's really important that I have a relationship with my client because, like you were saying before too, it's like ChatGPT comes up with a script that goes for, you know, everybody and just is like the baseline, but ChatGPT doesn't know you, right? And like these people who have these businesses that they can just, you know, pull things, it's like they don't know you. They don't know who you are. And all of us are so innately different as human beings that's like you need somebody who can understand your vision. And that's why like I even noticed that like some clients work and some clients don't work with me because I can't understand their vision. Like that's happened before where it's like, I just don't understand exactly what you're looking for here. And I like you and I just, we're not connecting here, you know, but then there's clients where it's like this connected and now I can help you because I know exactly what you want. And sometimes it takes a month or two to be like, okay, I understand your vision. Now I'm going to create this content for you. Right. And I think that like that is so important because I actually was watching a different clip of a podcast that you had, I think with one of your clients where like you guys talked about how, you know, her page has gone, like her page has done so well because people like her, right? And people like who she is and people, and you as her social media manager, you capture that so well in her posts.
Thank you. I'll take it.
And so she gets comments from people all the time, just like, oh, we love you, you're the best. And I've noticed that with one of my clients too. Like I have a client who is just like she's just great and everybody in town knows her and so everybody's like, oh my gosh, like we watch this content because we love her, you know, and I'm able to like capture that side of her and so they love me now because I've been able to like, you know, show that. I don't know, and so it's just so it's important to me at least to know my client and to be able to like have a personal relationship in a way, you know, like to an extent with them so that I can, you know, make sure that their content is like actually
what they want.
And it's real and it's like grounded instead of just like, okay, this person's just like creating whatever, you know?
It definitely, I will say this is something I'm struggling with as of recent. It gets harder when you start developing a team and everything and like you have multiple clients that you're working with and you can no longer like do it all yourself. It's like, okay, how do I position my A players, you know, to make sure that like, you know, my clients feel comfortable, you know, it's just, it gets hard.
I believe that actually, like at this point, I feel like I'm able to do that better. But I also feel like with you, like, I don't know, I feel like we get along really well, right? And
absolutely.
So like when you hire people who like, who understand you too, like you, that's another thing is like when you hire people, you want to hire somebody who's aligned with your business and with what you do, and with that it makes it more likely that they're also going to be aligned with your clients. And so I feel like
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
But no, I totally agree. I mean, people buy from people. And you know, and a lot of the things, and there's a social media coach out there that talks about this a lot. Like a lot of marketing is just being a good person. Because there are so many like bad ones out there that when you do meet a good one, it's like, oh my gosh, where have you been my entire life, you know?
It's so true.
So, and business owners talk about that all the time. I talk to clients about that, you know, even with hiring, like you're right, it's so important to find people who align. And so I agree. I'm like, Olivia, I'm excited.
It was really like when I met you for the first time, I was like, I like this girl. Like this is going to be great. I've recognized this with my dad because my dad is also an entrepreneur. My dad started a business. And this week has been a big week because there's been like a convention happening. And so he's been meeting with a bunch of customers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I drove by it and I was like, what's going on? Because, I mean, there's a convention every week.
Yeah, all the time. This one's a big one.
This one was huge. And I was like stuck in traffic by it. And I was like, dang.
And you just see like all the blue collar men walking up. So like he's been doing, my dad's been in business since, I mean, their business started in 1960, right? So it's been a long time. And he's been doing this since he was a teenager. And so I went out to dinner with him and a bunch of customers the other night just because he was like, you're sociable, just come with us. And I was like, I won't say
that is one
no
thing.
to him.
You were incredible with people, which is very hard to come by nowadays. So anyways.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I try to be. But yeah, so like I recognized that I have people come up to me all the time as his daughter that's just say to me like, we love your dad. Like your dad is just the best. He's just like, he's such a good businessman and your dad has such good like morals that we know that we're not just gonna get screwed over by him, you know? And so people like working with my dad in the industry because he's an honest man and he's just kind. And so he has like, you know, they'll let go of an employee and that employee will turn around and text him and be like, you know, thank you so much for the opportunity to work with you. Like I really loved this. It's like, that's so nice. Like and he somehow has like, I mean, he's burned his bridges before in his life, as you have to sometimes, but like he has kept so many good relationships with so many different people that like I look at that and I'm like, that is what I want to do with my business.
Which I think you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
You're already like starting. I mean, your first year in business, like from when I met you to now, it seems like you have more clients. Like you just seem happier. Like you're just doing so much.
Yeah.
Like more now. So that's, I mean, it's to me, from my perspective, it seems like you're doing everything that you're set yourself out to do.
Well, thank you. I'm trying. I mean, it's been nice to come here and to network with people. I think that that's something that I learned a lot, and even like you've taught me too, is like networking is super important. And you know, as much as social media matters, and it really does, it also matters to get out there and to meet people in person and to show your personality and
talk to people.
Because like you said before, like people buy from people. And you know, you can portray that to an extent on your social media, which you should, but also, you know, get out there.
Yeah, nobody can ever replicate what it would be like to have boots on the ground and actually creating connections with people. I always talk about that. Like if I tell a business, you know, are you networking? And they're like, yes. Okay, so this isn't going to replace your networking.
Yes.
And then you like, you know, if you want to get out of networking and you bring somebody on, you have to make sure that there's somebody just like you too, who's going to go connect and they're representing your company and your brand. But networking is always done very well for me. It's one of the things that not very many people do in this industry.
Yeah.
It's a lot of marketing agencies, like full service agencies. But from what I know, there's only maybe 4 or 5 social media specific like companies out there. And I've met 3 of them.
Yeah.
And now you. So that's what 4. And then there's another girl that I am meaning to meet, but that I don't know if she's only socials though. So there's not very many people, and not all of them are networking.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too, like what I always love about the industry is it's all about collaboration more than, you know, problematic issues with, you know, stealing clients or anything. But no, like we're all in different industries.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, my favorite thing was when I first met with you and you were like, girl, I don't gatekeep. Like I'm here to, I'll share my things with you. There are plenty of people out there for both of us.
Yep.
And I just love that about you because it's so true. And like you said before, you know, there's not very many people who are just in social media. And that's what makes, you know, like you an expert in your, or like really good in your field, because you're not trying to balance a bunch of different things at once. You're focused on one thing.
Yeah, no. I mean, one of my friends, she owns Cassidy Lynn Social, and I've known her since the day I opened. I think she's been open maybe a year or 2 longer than me.
Okay.
Her and I meet annually, and it's actually funny if she sees this video because she'll be like, "Ha, that's funny." But we meet annually, not intentionally. If we could meet more, we could. We're just busy. But and we just go over our clients. We go over like, you know, analytics, metrics, what we're seeing in the industry, the things that we're struggling with. And her niche is more coaches, photographers, nonprofits. Her bread and butter is nonprofits. And for me, I don't always like to work with nonprofits. I love helping, and I wish I could work with more nonprofits because I would love to work with more nonprofits, but it doesn't always work with the business model that I have.
Yeah.
And what I've been noticing is mine is more like trades.
Yeah.
And attorneys, which is a very masculine,
yes,
and I'm
true.
a very like, I don't know, but a very masculine industry. And I would say that you probably are similar because you have your dad as like a client, like it is a little bit more on the masculine side.
Yeah. For sure.
Except for, you know, the nonprofit. But,
but no, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that like everybody has their people that they work with. And
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, like everybody has a different niche or a different specific types of people. There was another girl I used to collaborate with quite a bit, and her clients were you know, more in the beauty side of things. And that was great, but I don't know if I would have ever been able to work with her clients if I hadn't been working with her directly. So, so there's so much business to go around. I mean, and then there's Laughlin, Pahrump, North Las Vegas. Like there's also areas around Vegas and Henderson that are open as well. Or like if you feel like traveling, go to California. Like there's businesses everywhere.
It's so true. I mean, we know that I live in Boulder City. I love Boulder City. But like even there, like I found different clients and I talk to people and I'm networked just in Boulder City, and it's like a fraction of the portion of what Las Vegas is, right? Like there's just so many people. I also was gonna say, like, I think that you probably feel this way about like your different networking groups as well, but I'm grateful, and I think it's been a good thing for me to have started my business in the Chamber of Commerce world, just because I've met a lot of different business owners through that, and I think that like joining some sort of like networking group, whether it be like the networking group that you're in, or like a Chamber of Commerce or whatever, like everybody should just go join a networking group because it is so helpful. It really is. And then people in that networking group are more likely, like even if they don't want to use you, they're more likely to refer you to somebody. And like I get calls all the time from people that are like, I don't know if this is ever going to work out, but like I told them that you do a great job. So, and it's amazing. You're like, oh, thank you. You're the best.
It's just showing face too. Yeah. And it's also, maybe they don't refer you. They don't use you, but it's still like that aspect. And I forgot where I was going with that now. I lost it. Fuck. Because there was something important.
A networking group. You have your networking group, and everybody should join a networking group.
Well, anyways, everybody should join a networking group. Now I'm going to lose it. That's going to drive me nuts. But yeah, I mean, I think networking really propels businesses. I think with what we do, it's a little bit harder because there is a lot of myth busting that we have to do, and like there's a long list of expectations we have to talk about before even signing any kind of contract. But you find most of those contracts at networking or client referrals. Yeah. Fuck, what is this? It's gonna drive me nuts. But well, tell me a little bit about some of the clients you work with.
Oh man. Okay, I work with a bunch of different clients. I mean, I've worked from, in the blue collar field, like we talked about, chambers of commerce. I've worked a lot with. I have, like you said, a nonprofit.
I remember.
Say it. Okay. Go for it.
That it's not like going to a networking event shouldn't just be about the money aspect. Yeah. It shouldn't be about just the referrals or somebody using you. Like you want to go with the intention of learning and meeting people. Because when I first started my company, people looked at me cross-eyed. They're like, what the heck are you doing? I don't even know what that means. Or like, you handle people's social media? What's social media? Or like, content, what does that mean? Like, and some people would be like, what kind of content? And I'd have to say like, social media. But it was a thing, but it wasn't a thing. And so there was a lot of aspects in business that I knew nothing about, but because I went to these networking groups and talked to these people, I was able to say, hey, like I have a question about this. And they were more willing to answer and be nice about it and not just look at me like, oh, you should know that if you're a business owner. It's like, no, like, I don't know how to do my taxes.
Yeah, that's literally we just talked about this.
It's not my job.
And people are so nice. Yeah. Like, if people are going out of their house to go network, right? Yeah. They also want to talk to people. Yeah. And, like the people who don't want to talk to other people and the people who are going to be rude to you, they're not going to go to something like this, right? So I'm always pleasantly surprised at how many like kind, genuine people are at these events who like want to help you. And you're right. It's important to go into it being like, I just want to help other people instead of like, I'm gonna find a client and make a ton of money today. Like
if your intention is wrong, people can tell. Like you can see that from miles away. There were times too in my company where I was desperate. I needed a client bad, or I was down bad, or I was 1 year in. And I had just gotten to a certain amount of money, and then I had lost a client, and that was the make or break from paying my rent. Yeah, So like there were times when I would go networking, and I wasn't the like most easy person to talk to and stuff. So I think it's important to just go for the right reasons. Right. Because if you're like, for me, I've gone through every single kind of up and down there has been, and probably we'll go through a billion more. Yeah. Because that's just the lifeline of business.
We all do, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to be intentional. And if you're not intentional, you have to get yourself into that position where you are intentional about it. That's what it was.
Absolutely. And that was important to say. Yes. So I'm glad that you remembered.
I was like, what is it?
It's so true. Intentionality, is that the word? Intentionality?
Yeah, being intentional.
It's very, very important in all different aspects of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well now going back, tell me a little bit about the couple clients that you have.
Yeah. I work with, blue collar. I work I work with the Chamber of Commerce. I work with a nonprofit. Eventually, like, I'll want to niche down a little bit more like you're doing, but I think that will be a few years. And right now I kind of just work with a lot of different people. I work with an insurance that I recently just
Yay!
Yeah, I know. I'm excited about that.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So it's really I have a lot of good people that I work with, and it's kind of all over the place. Like, it's not any one specific, I think it's easier in some ways when you have like a niche that you're working with, because you can become more of an expert. Like, I feel like with my insurance client, like, they talk to me and I'm like, what are you saying?
Insurance is hard.
And so it's like hard to like create their content and like especially like their graphics and stuff, because I'm like, I don't even really understand exactly what you do. And they're like throwing out all these words and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Yeah. Like, I'm just a girl.
I just want to be your marketing bestie.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like getting to know all the different people and the different industries, so that eventually I can figure out which industry works best. I have a lot of clients that are I specifically like all my clients, right? But I like the clients who are willing to be in front of the camera, because it's so helpful when they can easier. And you don't even have to be good in front of the camera, right? It's just like, go be willing to be in front of the camera and like be funny and just like let your personality shine. I get like getting in front of the camera and being like, okay, I don't like how I look, like I don't like this, I don't.
You just have to get over it.
But you just have to get over it. Like,
rip the Band-Aid off.
So true.
People will see it and remember it for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Unless it was
and nobody's nobody's sitting there thinking like, oh, her hair doesn't look perfect today.
No. Not at all. No. And that's definitely, you're right. I mean, that is one of the biggest things that people fear, and that's why I try to bring the podcasting in, because I'm like, this is a great way to just get some content. And you're talking and it's nothing like crazy, it's not this like, oh my gosh, like, it's the best way to get good quality content that shows you. But
yeah, it's nice to, I've never done a podcast before actually, so it's my first time.
It's fun. I mean, I have some people that I'm really nervous with that the episodes go very poorly.
Really?
And then I have like you where I'm like very comfortable. I'm like, oh, okay, like this is easy.
I like sat down, I was like, Josie, what are we even gonna like talk about? Like, I'm so nervous. But then we started talking and it's like,
I didn't think it was gonna be that hard. No. When the ones that I prepare for, I end up doing really bad. But the ones that I don't prepare for, I'm like, all right, cool, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. But it is a good way to create good content. It's not a bad idea for sure.
Yeah.
And people feel less awkward doing this kind of thing. I feel like most people would be okay being on a podcast, and so.
Oh yeah, well, it kind of feels like credibility when you're invited on a podcast.
Yeah, it does. It's so true.
Like,
I'm like,
me?
Love this.
Me? It's kind of like that, like when I think about it, is that one trend where it's like, does that mean you think I'm skinny? Like, that's how I feel when I get invited.
Yes. I was like so excited about this day. I'm like, I'm gonna be on a podcast.
Yep. It's so much fun, and I feel like once I bring people in and they're like, I want one, I'm like, I know, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like one of the easiest ways, I feel like. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, being on camera is the hardest. I always start like with clients. I always start with like the funny ones.
Yeah,
because it's like the icebreaker.
Yeah, it gets them like kind of excited.
Yeah, and then then it's a little bit easier. It's like okay. And I don't script things except for if I'm trying to do some like crazy cool edits or anything, like, which is new with Breno, but
okay, yeah.
But and otherwise it's just, I don't know, like you're the expert in the industry, like if I'm gonna ask you a specific question, you know the answer to it,
Yeah.
One of the things I have noticed too with AI is that people tend to not know the answers to their own company because they've been so reliant on AI
That's so true.
that like they can't answer basic questions. And that's just something I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I've
when did
noticed
we
that
get
too.
here?
I know. It's wild. I feel like it's just it's crazy what it's all turned into.
I know.
I could like 10 years ago I would have been like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
It's just wild, but
It is. It's just changing all the time. But
yeah.
well, we're almost done. Is there anything specific you'd want to say? Like any specific content, maybe an update in the industry? An update that you can use is how Instagram is using views or counting views a little bit differently now.
Okay.
They're basically using. Do you remember when it was accounts reached? Like it was like, oh, it's been a while now, but it's been.
Yes, though I do remember this.
It was accounts reached instead of views, and then I think like a year and a half ago they switched it to views, and now they're like tracking it more like accounts reached.
Okay.
Again. And what that means is accounts reached was like per account.
Okay.
So like that one account was one view. Now views are, you can watch it 20 times. That's 20 views. Now they're kind of cutting back on that. Like there's a cap or a limit where it's now like kind of going back to account seen. Like how many times. So you can't just watch it 100 times and it'd be 100 views. So I've seen that with a couple client accounts that the metrics dropped in January. And that's why.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I actually like. I don't want to say that like I like that better, but I do feel like it's you have a better idea of how many people are actually seeing your stuff instead of like, because sometimes I like put my phone down and I don't realize that it's still on and it plays the video over and over and over again and like while I'm cooking dinner, and so you never really know. But this way you can actually tell like this many accounts actually saw the post.
Yep.
And I like that because you're able to track that a bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a little bit in the past. I mean, this has been a little while ago that this changed, but I've had clients ask me recently about hashtags, and I've been trying to work really hard on like figuring out specific keywords to use because hashtags are in the past now mostly.
I hate them. I hate them. I have like this. Like,
I always hated hashtags.
Yeah,
I was like, get this out of here.
The only time it makes sense is like a wedding. It's like, oh, we're Mr. and Mrs. blah, blah, blah now. Like, because then you can tag that and your friends and family can put that picture in that folder that they're taking or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Otherwise, I hate them.
I hate them too. But I like the keywords idea because then I think that I've been writing longer captions for things because I want to just like people read captions now more than they used to, and so you're able to put the information in the caption and I mean, so that's changed within like the past little while, not like super long, and so I feel like that's something that businesses should know is if you're just trying to, if you're just posting a bunch of hashtags, like maybe change that up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even Instagram the head of Instagram, Adam Azari, has even said that they're limiting how many hashtags you use now. And that's for a reason. I personally think, although everybody will tell me differently, that it's like, oh, well, hashtags you can still use. They still work. And I'm like, I don't think so. Unless your audience is like 60s and they love hashtags because that's where they like had
But
Instagram
like, do the 60-year-olds even know what like hashtags are? Like,
maybe more like 50s.
Maybe. I just feel like nobody
people clicked on them, but now nobody's clicking on them, and they're not. And that's what I mean. Like, why we don't use hashtags is like they are keywords.
Yes.
And so, whether they're clickable or not, they're still keywords, and just don't make them clickable.
Well, do you think it's helpful to put like keywords in the bottom of the caption or just to put the keywords within the caption?
So the reason I did that with Paul was because his previous marketer did it that way.
Okay.
And when I started working with him, he just wanted like it to remain the way it was previously marketed.
Okay.
And for the longest time, I didn't think so.
Okay.
I kind of do now.
Okay.
I think it could be helpful, but
Like worth trying.
yeah, but then it just looks weird. So like people are like, okay, why do you have all these like random words? Are these supposed to be hashtags? And then it's like, no, they're not supposed to be hashtags. They're supposed to be keywords. And then there's like the myth. So I just personally, if you're going to use any of them, just try to put them in the caption somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what we're changing with Paul now, is that
It's
we're
more
no
coherent
longer-
in there. Yeah. Okay.
Because then it just, people are like, what are you doing? The other thing that people talk about is putting those keywords in the comments.
Oh,
and-
like you comment on your own post? Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't seen that.
So yeah, and I don't know if that works.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never tested it. I've never talked to anybody who does it, but I've seen it a lot. So I don't want to say yes or no if I'm like,
I mean, it's all about testing the things to see if they work. I guess.
exactly. So that's if you do test it, let me know.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
Maybe we should try this.
we could try it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, I'm trying to think of any other updates in the industry. Because I know retention was one for a little bit. Now, yeah, hashtags is a good one. I think Facebook is bringing back monetization.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I have seen this. Okay, I have an account that we get, like, it says when I go into the account dashboard that we're making, $15 or whatever, but I have no idea how to access that money. Do you know how to access the money?
I don't.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. I look it up all the time, and like everybody gives me a different answer, and none of them work.
Yeah, I've seen that access. I think right before I referred reps and steps to you, they had that like notification.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like, oh, your account is now, you can monetize on Facebook. And when Facebook was monetizing a long time ago, Facebook didn't really make as much money, but Instagram made a lot of money, and they have not brought that back because people were, making like 40 grand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I noticed them, and then another account I have just had that option open. I have not opened it just because now you need tax information, and I'm like, okay, I need to have a sit-down conversation with that client. But it's coming back.
Yeah, my client, like, I talk to them about it when I do the analytics. They're like, how do we access this money? Or like, how can we like use this money to go towards our ads or whatever? Because they have a different person who does ads for them. And I just don't know. Like, I've been researching it and I've been trying to figure it out. But like, Facebook is so hard because you have to do all like the 2-factor authentication, and you have to like, and you can't contact Facebook directly because nobody will answer your phone call, and it's just like hard. So I haven't been able to figure it out. So if anybody knows, let me know.
I've been struggling with that too, because all of my client accounts are connected to my personal Facebook. But eventually, like, that can't happen. Like, I have to have a personal Facebook account that's mine. Yeah. So I've made a new Facebook account, which is against the rules, to connect the pages to. Yeah. So now everybody can, like, the people who need access.
You're confessing that right now on this podcast that you've done this. Just kidding.
Hate me. But that's like, I mean, it really comes down to like a lot of the myths, like hashtags and, whether you use edits to edit or CapCut to edit, I see no difference. But some people are like, oh, if you use edits to edit and you post directly from edits, then the content does so much better. And sure, if you're using the platform tools that they spent billions of dollars to create, then sure, maybe, but it really comes down to quality content. Yeah. The other thing about trending content, and I'll probably just end with this too, because we're getting, well, then you can say what you need to say. And yeah. Okay. Anyways, like, I don't want to just end it. But,
the thing about trending content, I think is what you said.
Oh, trending content. Yes. Okay. So like when you go out and go find some of these trends, you have to go in and look at these accounts, because if these accounts already have millions of followers, then every video they post is going to go viral to a small account. So then it's about, okay, going to these, like, you find a trending video, you click on the author of that video, and you're like, oh, okay, if this is a micro account in a different industry, I can use this for my industry and it's trending. But, if you're just following trends that like big influencers or creators are doing, then it's probably not going to work for your smaller business because they just posted it and they have millions of followers. So anything they post goes viral.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of being a little bit more strategic about finding these trending content ideas, which everybody struggles with. I mean, even I'm like, hard. Sometimes it's like you still use the big creator one because it's a good one to use. But it's something I'm like,
Yeah. Something to think about.
yeah, like us marketers.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. No, I think that that's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, do you have like a commercial or anything that you'd want to say that you'd have your own little
commercial?
Yeah, like your own little
My
piece?
my jingle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not really, but I just feel like if anybody is, I feel like kind of what we said at the very beginning, with, you know, it's, if you want somebody to help you out with your social media, it's important to hire a social media manager who can help see your vision. And if anybody is looking for that, you know, Josie and I are both here. And so we would love to help anybody, and we would love to understand the vision and make it happen for anybody who's looking for somebody to help them out with their social media and help them reach more people intentionally. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Yep. Crushed it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Of course. Yeah. I love it. I love the studio.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love this too. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
get some of my clients to come out here.
Yeah. I mean, this is something too you can kind of consider, is like kind of white labeling it a little bit. So saying, hey, you can do one podcast episode a month. We'll cut it up into 10 different clips, and, you know, you charge $500 or $600 for that one episode, and then pay them $300.
Yeah.
They'll cut up those clips for you.
Slay.
And all you have to do is come in and interview them for an hour. So
Love it.
and you make your hourly rate and back, you know, if let's say it's $300, you charge them $550, that's $250 you made just for interviewing someone. So.
Yeah, that's actually, it's brilliant. I think it's a great idea, and podcasting is in too. Like, people really like watching these kinds of things. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see
Put them
what
on
these clips look
YouTube.
like. Yeah. Yeah.